pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How you doing, Joe? I'm all right, thank you.
I already have. John Anteline,
Present.
Timmy Anteline,
Here.
Joe Bohatch,
Here.
Mark DeDominicus, Doug Falk,
Here.
Patty Fenn,
Here.
Dave Trombetto,
Here.
Mayor Rose, Solicitor Dearson, and Engineer Ray Antonelli Jr.
Here. Reading of the reports.
We have the delinquent tax report from May of 2019. Total taxes collected, $781.19. Transfer tax for the month of June 2019, $1,200.50. And the tax collector's report for the month of June 2019. Total taxes collected for the month, $8,683.
Motion to accept the reports.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, second.
Second.
Second. Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Communications.
A letter from Local Government Academy regarding the Rivers of Opportunity educational event. Beaver County Tax Claim Bureau regarding notice of rule for judicial sale. Niagara Consulting Engineers regarding the ARLE grant submission of the application. State Representative Rob Matsey regarding a letter of support for the ARLE grant application. PSAB MRT, a schedule of changes in the net assets of the Conway Borough Police Pension Plan, month ending June 30th, 2019. And Garing, Rudder, and Beam regarding the intermunicipal sewage agreement.
Motion to accept the communications.
Motion.
Second. Motion from Tim, second from Joe. Any questions, discussions regarding this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the bill list.
I'll make a motion to accept the bill.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second, Tim. Any questions on the bills? Anyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment, agenda items only. Hearing none, we'll move on.
Can I ask a question?
Agenda items only, but go ahead.
I mean, as it relates to things like the reports and communications,
Need
is
her
it
name
possible
again.
to see them?
Real
I
quick.
can't hear it.
Yeah, I
Yes,
can't hear real
yes,
good.
yes.
Could you please stand up, say your name, where you live, and then ask your question again? We couldn't hear you real well.
Oh, sorry. Stephanie Hamill, 1424 Porter Street. As it relates to things like the reports and communications, is it possible to actually see those documents?
Yeah, they're public record. I mean,
Just have to come into the office
Yeah.
to look at them.
yeah, you're more than welcome to look at any public record like that. We just don't read them just because it would
No, I understand.
bog down the time constraint on people. So, but yeah, they're always available at the office.
You dropped the card under the chair.
Anybody else, anything else? No? All right, moving on. Madam Mayor?
So the mayor's report, the mileage, which is not on your copies, but the mileage on 336 is 74,807. On 337, 67,523, and on 338, which is the unmarked, 100,749. Accident reports for the May through July was $130. Year-to-date total was $390. District, county, and court fines, year-to-date $5,427.17. Restitution $49.50. The fines, the districts, the county, and the parking are separated out. I'm not going to go over that. State police year-to-date is $627.34, which is one of the two payments that we will receive. Calls for service, there was 176 calls for service from June 12th through July 17th of 2019, and year-to-date so far, 952,000. Yeah, right.
That's
952.
good.
Any questions on the report? So, just an update in terms of general things. The emergency operations plan. the emergency coordinator, Bob Skosich, and his assistant or his helper, Kelly Stasic, is they sent me over the emergency operations plan. I'm mapping it back to our existing to make sure that everything reads correctly. And in light of the chemical spill in Rochester, I want to make sure that we're also covered in terms of an emergency from our perspective. And I also want to review the county's notification of the other surrounding towns and boroughs, which, as we all know, it was a little late, but, so. I should have that by the next meeting in terms of the review. Finalize the walkthrough, and what I'll do is give it to you guys to look through. But you should all have the copy of the past one, so if anything jumps out at you, I just don't want you to spend too much time on it because a lot of it has been reviewed. The other thing is the testing for the full-time officers were done. They are complete. Civil Service certified the list, gave the top 3. My recommendation in the Civil Service and Police Department, the recommendation would be for somebody to make a motion to hire the number 1 that was on the list, which is Kevin Reese, contingent upon the physical, which includes the drug screen and the physical and the psych eval, on a 1-year probation, and within that 1-year probation, he is not permitted to work at other departments until he's over that 1-year probation, and one dedicated to Conway. So if you'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second, the motion to hire Kevin Reese.
Effective August 1st.
Full-time police officer effective August 1st. Questions about this? Discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else, ma'am?
No.
Thank you very much. Mr. Engineer.
Okay, just referring to the agenda there, 2019 road program. I did get an email exchange with the contractor just yesterday. They're still scheduled for like mid-August. 8th Avenue water line is that they're actually be moving equipment and materials in on Monday. So they'll probably start maybe saw cutting and stuff on Monday, and probably won't get much else done. Question about inspection. On Miller Street, it's a little bit of a smaller job, kind of an out-of-the-way place. We just did some spot inspections. I'm gonna have a problem doing that this time around just because of the demand on the manpower. I either gotta give you full-time or no time. I can't, I have projects that are, it's like I'm either gonna put this guy here or I'm gonna have to put him somewhere else. And the somewhere else might be like Borough or Natrona Heights. So, sometimes if I have jobs in close proximity, we'll split time and run between, but I don't have that option here. So whatever you guys want to do. I mean, there's certain stuff we're gonna have to inspect, I think, like when they go to tests, the line, pressure test, and observe bacteria testing, flushing, make sure all that stuff happens. I can probably fill those gaps without having full-time inspection, but I can't come down on a regular, I won't have anybody send down on a regular basis unless it's full-time. I can't, if he's part-time, then the rest of the time he's gonna be sitting in the office twiddling his thumbs, so, but I have other full-time jobs I can put him on. So that's kind of up to you guys. I mean,
The spot inspections, is it something that somebody on council and or Chad, the water?
Well, yeah, I mean, Chad's probably perfectly capable. My impression is he's probably
He is busy.
a little overwhelmed at the moment. Certainly Brian, too, can maybe pitch in there.
So
Is anything there?
Essentially the beginning of the project, they would, the inspections would be more as to the work that's actually taking place as opposed to the testing. Like the physical testing at the end and everything, you would be able to have somebody there.
Yeah, I'm sure I can work something out there, because I mean, that's, we're just talking maybe a couple of days. get
Right.
that stuff done.
And I mean, Brian and Chad both have adequate training to, you know, oversee some of that
Yeah.
work. And obviously, we hired a professional firm, so
Yeah, the firm.
that part I'm not, you know, super concerned about.
Yeah, when that,
just
yeah,
because
we feel good about this, this company, yeah.
like we've used them in the past, is not the people we used in the past.
Not here in town, but they just completed a rather complicated, large water line project for us and went extremely well. They were real cooperative, seemed very knowledgeable of what they were doing. You know, it wasn't my project, but one of my company's projects. The engineer that was in charge was quite pleased. Yeah. So, I do have the guy coming down. I was assuming would probably be doing the inspection. He's gonna come Monday for the pre-construction meeting, and, so we'll go ahead with that, and maybe if Brian and/or Chad can come up and just for getting the things kicked off, and then we'll kind of turn it over to them, and maybe when the testing comes along, they can holler and we'll come around.
Right.
That's all.
What time is it at?
Between 8 and 8:30, we're gonna meet Monday morning up there. Okay, so that's that. Of course, we did submit the final application for the ARLE grant. We haven't heard anything back yet. Passed out plans for the steel building, the metal building. Specs are done. You know, everything's ready to go to bid whenever you see fit.
Yeah.
I know our architect met with Dave Trombetta, and I think, what, Tim, you were there?
He was there.
And John, were you there as well?
I was not there.
Yeah, it was just Tim and
Me and
Dave.
Tim. Me, Tim, and Brian.
Brian. And so, of course, we're bidding you know, a 60 by 30 and a 60 by 40 building as an alternate. I understand the discussions with Dave, it was decided that they would omit a piece of the concrete floor slab in the, that would be the left rear corner to provide for future plumbing entrance. Other than that, I mean, as you can see the site plan, where the buildings were kind of, at least tentatively proposed to be located, 10 foot from the sideline and 25 feet from, I see none of the streets are labeled on the plan. What's the name of that street back there, Dave?
East Ridge.
It's
East Ridge, and then there's Henderson Lane in front of it. East Ridge is
Yeah, East Ridge is over in the economy,
It's a
yeah.
half field.
Yeah, so that's East Ridge you're looking at by the border there.
Yeah, but the drains will run out to Henderson Lane.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's it's not labeled, but you see the sanitary manhole there. See the round circle there on the edge of the road there, Hendricks Lane.
He has in order to put them box drains in the floor. We decided to put those in.
So Bree, what was our estimate on the
Well,
cost to build?
I think you got an estimate from the supplier, but I don't think it was based on prevailing wages, which this will be.
Yeah, I think it is.
And I think for the smaller of the two buildings, it was like 75,000. So, you know, by the time you factor in prevailing wages, and, you know, I don't know, Mark didn't really give me an estimate, but I'm guessing maybe 100,000 for the smaller of the two buildings, and
Brian-
it won't go up proportionately for the
No,
larger
Brian-
size. It'll go up something less than the proportion, I'm sure. You know.
Brian talked to that nose or the build those. I think he said it wasn't much more for 10 more feet, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean,
So,
When we originally got the proposal, did that include concrete? Was that just?
yeah, the concrete, but not the electrical and not like that plumbing.
yeah. Of course, there's none of that.
We're just gonna
That
put-
was
We're just
the
putting up a shell
foundation and the building.
We're gonna put
Yeah.
but we're gonna put the plumbing in,
later.
well, we're gonna put that, just the, it's in the concrete, and that's all the further right now we're gonna
Yeah.
go into. Yeah, for the floor drains, and we'll go under the
You're
building.
just gonna put a sleeve in, Dave.
Yeah, yeah,
Just put a sleeve.
and then when they're ready to connect it, everything's there.
Yeah. So, you know, that's that, and, so we, you know, we wanna find out what it's gonna cost, we can bid it.
That, again, that's just the foundation and the shell of the building with the doors
Right,
is gonna be.
yeah, no, and the slab,
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the foundation. so.
yeah.
You're
Actually,
still gonna have to
actually,
heat
the
the
building's
building.
a cheap thing.
Everything.
The building's the cheap
That's what I
part.
mean, cause you're still gonna have to heat it, you're still gonna have to put electrical in there and,
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Right now, we're gonna need a shelter.
Right. I understand we need a shelter for the equipment, but at the same time, that's.
That's a lot of money.
On pieces, too.
Right.
Where's it coming from?
Get bid.
I mean,
So,
get bids and go from there. If it's out of the budget, it's out of the budget. you know.
yeah, at this point, to get to find out what it's gonna cost you, the, you know, the
Right.
cost of a bid advertisement and a little bit of our time to, you know, maybe answer some questions from bidders.
And I
That's
mean,
about
we've
it.
already done the design and everything.
Yeah, you
so
got-
that part of it's already down the road,
That's
so.
it, yeah, right. So, is that what council would like to do, to just have,
Yeah, get
put it out the bid?
Yeah. Somebody gonna have
Yeah,
to
it makes
make a
no sense
motion
not to get the bid.
to-
Okay, I'll make a motion to get a bid, and we'll go from there.
We have a motion to get the bid for the steel building.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Questions about it? Anybody before we move on? Anyone? No? All right, all in favor? Opposed? All right.
I have one other item, actually two. Our MS4, annual report is due in September. The last time, once every 5 years, you're supposed to inspect all your stormwater outfalls. Didn't happen last time. Would like to get them done this time before the report's done, because your permit renewal is gonna be coming up. Would like to be able to do this report in September and show you being current. In addition, there's a total of 27 outfalls. All of them should be inspected this go around. The last time they were inspected, you're supposed to do these inspections after at least 48 hours when there hasn't been any rain events. So if there's flow in the storm drain, 2 days or more, we've been trying to stick to more like 72 hours. It's funny, because I heard on the news the other day, I think it was on Tuesday, that it marked 4 straight days in a row without precipitation. It's the first time it's happened since January 1.
Yep.
So it's been
Yeah, so trying to get, some 2-3 days back to back without any precipitation is kind of tough. But in any event, you're supposed to inspect them with after at least 48 hours of dry weather. And then if there's flow there, you have to sample it, because then it's suspect, right?
Right.
Of course, it kind of is and it isn't, because storm sores aren't watertight, and there's always groundwater there, but that's the rule. You're supposed to test them, and then you send this to the lab and check for various pollutants, and of course, if you find any, then it's your job to try to locate the source and eliminate it. But anyway, I don't know what you guys want to do. If you want to have Brian or have your public works crew conduct the inspections. Would like to have them done by late August or early September. If you want us to do it, we can do them. If you guys are going to do them, we're going to want to get you, either get you or arrange for you to get sample bottles in case you have to collect samples. The lab costs are $175 a piece to have those analyzed. So if you assumed it was the same as last time, we ended up with 11 of them, you'd have $1,925 in lab costs. If you wanted us to do all the inspections and collect the samples, you're probably looking at maybe $2,000 of cost to have us do it.
plus
On
lab.
top of the lab.
On top of the lab costs, yes.
Well,
My,
I say something?
yeah, one second. My biggest issue with having you guys do it is we're gonna be kind of dodging the calendar the whole time because if it rains a couple days and then it doesn't, and
Yeah,
your
right.
guys are tied up on another job where we could pull our guys off, hey, it didn't rain 2 days, go out and do your samples,
Yeah.
With you trying to coordinate that around the
harder,
raindrops
yeah.
is gonna be a lot more difficult.
Yeah, right, you're up, and your guys are already here.
And that's what I mean, our guys are in the borough
That's right.
on the job, so.
My feelings won't be hurt.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Clint already talked to Chad about it.
What's that?
Yeah,
And Chad is
I
gonna
told
do it,
Clint
no.
today, I said, you know what?
No,
I
he's
think-
already got it planned to do,
Does
him
he?
and Brian.
I just was afraid he was,
No, he
we're
is
asking for too
overwhelmed,
much
but
of
he will
Chad.
have to take, he knows he has to take a day to,
all right,
so he has it on the calendar to make sure he does it at the end of August or beginning of September. So
okay, well, there you go then.
All right.
He does have it on. He's been talking to me, and I think he might
Yeah,
already have
he-
the sample bottles with him, so.
He did tell me that, and I just thought,
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you know what? From everything I can gather, that poor boy's got more than he can handle. But if he thinks he can do it, then great, so that's all I got.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody, anything for the engineer while we're at
Yeah, just one question on the 8th Avenue. Before they start, they notify the residents that they're starting, or is that something we should handle?
I require that on the paving jobs. I haven't required it in this case. Maybe we could do something, I get a notice,
Last week
I
I
get a
brought
notice,
it
I
in,
get something
last
typed
time,
up.
the doors.
Well, I'll bring it with me Monday and we can go around door to door.
Yeah.
There's only, what, 10 houses?
Yeah, but I mean, like something, like on a smaller area like that, usually we'll have Brian and the guys knock on the door and give them a notice, like, hey.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to get, I mean, that, do that if all else fails.
Right.
I'll try to remember to get something, a little notice typed up to explain the job, bring it with me Monday morning before much of anything's happening.
You can do it, if you can get a letter before then and just email it to me.
Okay.
Print them out and have them take it up like Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
That'd be great, at least they have the weekend
That's
to
the
prepare
email.
themselves. Yeah, that is tomorrow.
To residents.
Oh,
Yeah,
Friday.
Maybe just email it to
Yeah.
me and we'll get Brian.
Yeah.
We have a couple high school kids that are working, they can
Yeah,
go knock
there
on
you
their
go.
doors.
They can go knock the doors and hand the letters.
There is actually one other thing that I had planned on coming this evening to be able to give you a better breakdown on, I have information here with me, but I'm not prepared to, maybe by the end of the meeting, to discuss with you what the estimates were for engineering for the sewer project, and what the other obligations that you have under the agreement. As a matter of fact, it would probably be silly to try to, I couldn't get to it today. But I'd really like to give you like a written schedule, like what you can expect and when.
Can
know what I
you
mean?
email that also when you get time to get it
Yeah,
together? when it
I
is?
actually started an email and it's addressed to every member of council and
That's
mayor.
fine, just send
And
it.
then I kind of abandoned I started to put in an email and I abandoned that idea thinking, well, I'm gonna present, I was gonna get it in black and white and bring it tonight, it didn't happen, so.
An email should be sufficient so
Yeah,
that we can know.
I think
what
it'd
to
be, because,
expect.
under the terms of that agreement, I mean, there's different things that the debating authority has to do, but we limited them largely in that they can't, there's, most of that stuff they can't proceed with until we tell them.
Right.
They can't be incurring costs on our behalf without us knowing. There may be some minor exceptions to that, but I need to kind of get back to the agreement again and just check them all off, so. I'll be able to get you a schedule that shows you like kind of what you can expect and when you can expect it, okay?
Sounds good. Anything else? Thank you, Ray. Madam Solicitor.
Thank you. As your engineer just noted, we do have that agreement in place. I know that the first payment under that agreement went out today. So everyone has that final fully executed copy, so that will move ahead. And then let's see what else I have here. So we received a request, and I think this was discussed at the last meeting, and I'll let Diane kind of fill you in as to where the walkway is being requested. But it's on a narrow piece of borough property. And so what I raised with Diane is if council wants to allow a sidewalk to be placed there, since it would be something on borough property, that would require some type of agreement to be in place to allow them to do that, some type of license agreement. Alternatively, it's a very small piece of property that the borough doesn't use. You know, would be to consider saying, yeah, you can do that if you wanna, you know, take this property. And then it would no longer be borough property. I don't know that there's really any need for it at this time. I think it was access that's, you know, was never really.
Is there a storm sewer
There is a
storm
storm sewer
drain
that
goes
runs
down
through
that
there.
property?
Yeah.
So if they assume that, who assumes the liability for that if they
Yeah.
assume that piece?
You have to retain an easement.
Yeah, we do an easement.
There's an easement already there.
I mean, it's essentially all it is anyhow, it's not a large piece of property,
Right.
it's
But
basically.
you have, there's an
Foot wide or
easement,
something, it's not.
but it's actually, the borough actually has title to it as well, huh?
Right.
Yeah,
kinda
it
odd,
does,
huh?
and it's like one
Yeah,
of
we
those.
don't know why.
We did a bunch of
You
research on
granted
it,
yourself an easement?
and,
I don't know why, yeah.
I mean, you could retain an easement when you transfer the property.
Yeah.
It's just one of those where I don't want it, you know, just kind of looking for it, like it's currently assessed at $500. But we are getting tax bills for it. I mean, there's just administratively, I don't know if there's a reason to keep it. So it's either, you know, go ahead and see if we should transfer it, or we would want to put together some type of license agreement. It's just, you know, in 10 years, when something on that sidewalk needs to be repaired, I don't want, you know, it to be a borough responsibility if it's not.
That was our
If it's a
biggest
private
issue, I don't want
sidewalk.
a liability issue, number one,
Right.
because it's a sidewalk, if
Yeah.
somebody slips on ice, you know, we
Right.
didn't put the sidewalk in, so.
Right, we're
I
not
just
gonna
want some
maintain it.
sort of legal document stating that we're not maintaining
Right.
it, we're not responsible for it.
Exactly.
And we're not liable for any.
Right, so I think that
Slips and falls
there's
or
kind of
something.
two ways to go about that. One would be a recordable license agreement that would outline all the responsibilities, tell them they have to maintain blah, 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 indemnification. Remove if necessary for stormwater purposes, or we could say, you know, try to transfer it to them. Go
It
through
would
that
probably be more
process.
cost effective if we ask them if they wanna receive it, transfer it, and have them pay the attorney fees to draft up the documents. And
Right.
transfer fees.
I agree with that.
That's fine.
And it's a piece of property, we're never gonna do anything
Right.
with it.
Yeah, it's between the two
What, like
churches, and it's probably a 4-foot
70 foot
grassy
by, like,
area,
4
which
foot.
is,
Does that cause a problem with, now is that the one church where Castle Toys is?
Mm-hmm.
Be in
So does that-
between them essentially.
Does that cause a problem with him?
no, I guess well, not that we know of, but, because, well, from my understanding, it was Our Lady of Peace Church had asked them, because they're taking that sidewalk out of the parking lot of the other church and just connecting it over to the lower level so that they can enter handicap accessibility that way.
I guess
As
they
long
have
as
some,
he doesn't make a mistake about it, right?
They have some sort of
Sort of
agreement
agreement, yeah.
with that
Okay.
parking lot. I don't know what the details of their agreement, but they, Our Lady of Peace and the property next to it did come to some sort of agreement on using that parking lot. I'm not exactly sure because it really wasn't our business, but
Sure.
I do know they have some sort of agreement.
Okay, good.
Where it goes from there is kind of up to them and their attorneys, I guess.
Absolutely.
So does somebody want to make a motion to transfer? Ask them if they would like to
Make
transfer.
asking for that, pay the attorney's fees and
The transfer tax.
Any
Go from
transfer
there.
tax and all,
Which is
yeah.
all
All the
of it.
fees, any fees that would be
Yeah,
associated
five
with
dollars.
it would be their responsibility, and then we could transfer the property over to them. So we have that motion from Joe, a second.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then the last question that was asked of me to look into was whether the borough would have the ability to raise water and sewer rates for the third quarter and fourth quarter of 2019, and to cover additional costs incurred by the borough in rate increases that are needed. Our rates are set, our ordinance creates our rate structure, and then they're set by resolution. So if that is something that council want to do, there's no like, I think typically you do it at the beginning of the year.
And the
but
reason
there's not a
that we
legal
asked the
requirement.
question is because Beaver Falls Water increased their rates 3 or 4% to us. at the beginning of the year, and we did not incorporate that as of yet into our billing. So the request is, do we want to recoup the money that they've already increased on us from the
think we
residents
should.
for the next 6 months, or, you know, moving forward?
I think it's just business everywhere, right? Our costs go up, our costs have to go up.
Yeah, and
Or
I mean, we're
increase
not
the water
making a
service.
profit on it, it's.
Or
Correct.
increase
We're
the water
actually
service.
paying
That's what I wanna
for
know
4%
why.
more
Oh,
this
I know
for
it's
6
coming
months
because
that we
Beaver
have.
Falls Water, my
So-
brother-in-law runs their plant,
There you go. So,
and everybody else has gotten hit with a raise, we didn't.
Sewer rates, they raise their sewer rates quite a bit. Sometime back for the construction of the sewage plant. Not ever gonna raise sewer rates again.
once
No, we're
you,
okay.
They raised, Beaver Falls raised the water rates. I knew this was
What
coming.
the percentage was actually, and then you have to do the new rates and you have to do the resolution.
so we'll do that.
So we have that prepared for the next meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just before the
Yeah, we'll
And
do
that
that.
way
end
we
of this
can look-
quarter, so
right.
that I can
And that
get
way we
everything.
can look at what the actual revenues was.
Right.
And adjust it accordingly, Kate can incorporate that into the resolution.
So I'll just prepare it for
And, yeah, have it prepared.
Okay. That's easy.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Anybody, anything for the solicitor? All right, moving on. Finance and administration.
No,
No. Anybody for public, or for finance and administration? Public safety? Anybody? Did
So-
you forget something?
No, under public safety, which would be the fire department. We need to have a discussion, in terms of the borough pays for their cable, their electric, and so on and so forth. And the internet was designed, the access, for the fire department to have a private one, like we do here at the borough, and then a guest code. The guest code has mysteriously disappeared, and they no longer give access to the guest code. So we need to suggest that they reinstate the guest code wireless capabilities. And it came up, I was at an event there at the fire hall last Saturday, and someone asked me for the code, and I didn't know, so I asked, and that's what prompted that they no longer give it out, which is not what it was intended to do. So we need to clarify that with them and have council kind of direct them to get the guest internet back up.
So we can either have it directed to them and reinstate the guest access, or they can pay their bill. They can have a choice. So
That's pretty
I will
much what I
convey
had
that to
told
them.
them.
I'll convey that to them. I have no problem with that. And it's funny because if you ask even for
Is there
in an
anything
official
in our box?
capacity, nobody knows the password.
Is there anything in our box?
If they wanna pay their bill, they can have a private password.
So you're gonna just talk to them?
Yeah, I'll
first,
talk
you
to
don't
them.
even do anything?
Yep.
When I tried, they told me
Oh,
that
the other
council
way
needs
street.
to send them a letter.
Who sent them a
They
letter?
should,
I told them that if we
Wait,
did,
the
it
middle
would
street?
like
I was
results
gonna
of
say,
it.
send them a letter.
the way you come up the highway, you so you come up the
We
wrong
will
place,
gladly
you turn in
send
the
a
middle of
letter
the
to
street.
them.
The house on the right hand side, you have Jack
And
calls
then,
it.
did they ever make a decision on
That
the
guy
shed?
has 3 trailers there.
Nope.
He's in the construction
Did you hear
business.
anything on the shed?
I think they had a
It
guy
has to
there
be.
today looking.
Why do you have 3
at,
trailers?
The contractor, I seen a contractor up there, I'm assuming, because there was
Bring that
a
up
bunch of
in
guys up there,
That's
so I'm
good.
assuming
Public
that's what they're looking
comment.
at, but they've never given us anything.
That's right, why don't you bring it
further
out?
on it, so.
That's it.
All right, anything
Only that
anybody
there's
else
bushes
for
over
public
there.
safety?
They're hanging way out in the
Moving
middle
on,
street, after
public
the middle
works.
streets.
Anybody
Why did we,
anything?
they cut us out? Oh my God.
Planning, zoning, and ordinances. Anybody Meeting this month?
Nope.
No meeting this month. Anybody have anything under that? Moving on. Parks and recreation.
Parking signs are gonna be on the parks.
Who will do that? in a minute?
Has, I've only been able to stop up at the YMCA program a couple times. One was this Friday, and I think they were swimming this Friday, so when I was there, it was 20-some kids. I didn't know if anybody that drove by got a number, if there's an update, if it's being used more than it was last year. I know in July last year was a little bleak because of vacation, but the rain.
I can drive by tomorrow.
I have not been by, so. Kevin.
I'm curious.
I drove
Community
by,
Day, any
you know,
update?
and it looked like there was a
Plans
decent
are
amount.
going accordingly, August 3rd, 2 o'clock. Let me know when you can volunteer some time for Community Day.
Anybody, anything else for Parks and Recreation? Communications, public relations, creating a website, anybody, anything?
I don't really have anything, other than I reached out to Representative Matsey for the support for the grant.
Good thinking.
I reached out to Senator Vogel's office a couple times, I haven't heard anything, so if anybody has any ins or some other way to communicate to his office, that would be great. I mean, I've emailed, a couple times, so.
If you can give me just like a short, brief description of what you're looking for with
Yeah.
him, give it to me, and then I think I have a couple of things I can do. Or we can just go knock on his door.
Yeah,
So let me know.
just the support, letters of support for the grant that we applied.
Okay.
All right, I'll talk. Anything else under that? Moving on, unfinished business. Anybody, anything? No. New business, resident at 1604 Porter Street, Mr. Knitsky, site of the recent water break, request for repairs to his driveway.
Yeah, all I want to say is, I don't know what the driveway's going to be like 3-4 months from now, but I'm probably going to eat it anyway. What I'm asking for is a break on my water bill, which I used for like 3 or 4 days to clean all the mud that was all the way down my driveway on my front yard. I'll pay my normal water bill. I just don't want to pay more than 1,000 or 2,000 gallons that I used, which I would have not used. That's all I'm asking for, council to get in touch with the water authority and see if they could just make it even. I'm not asking that much.
And I'm 1608, our shed was completely,
Oh, yeah, you were-
it had this much mud in it, it was a mess. So we were pressure washing everything.
What's your
for
name?
2 months.
What's your last name?
It's Yeager, it's Yeager, and it's 1608 Porter Street.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Karen.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Jaeger, you said?
God, I'm
Yes.
gonna pass out here if I don't get air in there.
I think that's reasonable
Yeah.
to, make an adjustment to the water bill for the cleanup of that. I guess what we could do is, wait till the next water bill, because you're.
Well, yeah, it happened in
Yeah.
July, so I already got my rate increase
Right.
that you gave us on the 30th. So
We-
if I get,
No,
turn
we didn't
around
get a
over
rate
here and get my one in September,
Sounds like one's coming.
it's gonna be enormous from what I just used.
Right. Well, I
I'll just pay my normal one, I don't care.
think we can look at it and make an adjustment. We can discuss that when that time
Fine,
comes.
that's all I'm asking for.
I don't want to give you a number today, because realistically,
Yeah,
without
right.
looking at them, I'd just be picking a number out of the air, which
Right,
wouldn't
no
be
problem.
reasonable.
There
And
was no
obviously, the
increase.
same
Yeah, it
for
was-
you
yeah.
as well. Yeah, so.
There was no rate increase on water and sewage last quarter.
Mine went up $30 out of nowhere. I've been paying the same amount for the pets. I've been here for 40-some years. It's been always basically
Was it-
regulated.
Can we
Was it
just pause
estimated?
on that for just a moment, and when we get to the public comment?
Yeah, I don't want
we
to talk
can-
about that. That's
yeah.
none of my, I just want
Well,
to
no,
know.
no, during public comment, you can ask about
I
it.
just wanted to
wanna
let you know
get
about
through the
what I
rest of the
wanted.
stuff, and then,
Okay.
if you want to address that, you're more
We
than
gotta make
welcome
a motion.
to. I think what we should do is hold up until the time comes, and then we'll address that and make a motion at that time, after we see the numbers and what the rate usage
fine.
was, okay?
No problem.
All right. Also, under new business, Tim, you had something you wanted to bring up?
The parking lot at the ball fields, that's where the cardboard dumpster and recycling dumpsters are at. We've had quite a few people parking there overnight permanently, so we were thinking of putting no parking signs. overnight, like use it for ball fields and events and things like that, but, so someone doesn't use that as park a trailer there or an RV, camper.
Somebody set a camper up last week.
But you can't say really overnight parking. What happens if somebody across the street actually has a little car that they want to park there and they live there? Do you know what I mean? So it's not on the street.
I don't think once in a while, thing like that is really what our major concern is.
I know.
Like somebody had a tow-along trailer or fifth wheel, right?
Yeah, 25
I
foot,
saw-
footer, yeah.
Just
Side
camped
load.
out, ready to go
Like a
there,
continuous.
you know, and there's been more and more of this activity from people's commercial vehicles that are not their residential vehicles. So we were discussing it, and would we be able to put up signs with the no overnight parking? And if they persisted, if the sign stated so, would we be able to have their vehicles towed? How does that work?
Yeah, let me, just look at your, I'm fine with the signs, let me look at the time, we may wanna, cover that by ordinance.
That's what I mean, like, I just wanted,
Yeah.
we want you to look into that.
Yeah,
part of it
absolutely.
And see the legality of it.
Yep, I
We
mean,
can move on it later.
I don't think there's an issue
Does it
with
make sense?
implementing it, I just wanna make sure we
What?
hit the
Does
right
it make
steps.
sense to put the sign commercial, overnight parking, or commercial parking, commercial
No,
vehicles?
I mean, because if you have an RV, that's
Like
not
if the
a
RV
commercial
one.
vehicle, that's a personal recreational vehicle.
Just don't want someone
That's
using
not-
it as free storage,
Right,
basically.
that's the thing, we're not trying to say, oh, well, you know, you had your friend came in from out of town, they parked their car there.
Temporary parking, you're not gonna.
I mean, it's like, I feel like if we put the signs up, we're gonna knock out what we're hoping to knock out with it. And if, you know, it's a once in a while thing, we're not gonna really be that diehard about it. But when people are abusing it is what we're essentially trying to stop.
Understood.
So we'll have Kate look into that and get back to us on that for the next meeting, if you could. That'd be great, thank you. All right, anybody, anything else under new business? Now, public comment, you're free to speak if you like.
I just wanted to bring up one thing.
Yes, sir.
I don't know when they read our water meters, but Patty said that there wasn't a weight increase. But if they read that thing after the 3rd, that's why
That
everybody's
is a
water bill is.
possibility.
They did.
Because I only
not
got
read
it I only got my water bill the other day.
Yeah,
Right.
but,
So if they read that bill on the 5th or the 6th,
no, it was not read then. It was read at the end of June.
did they read it on the other? Okay, fine, thank you.
All them grandkids slip and slide.
Just ask.
And it slip and slide.
Just thought I'd ask.
Mr. Henson?
The house, facing Roosevelt Street, on the right-hand side as you enter Miller Street. He has to be in business. He's got 3 trailers there.
What's the address?
I don't know the house number.
Facing Roosevelt as you come into Miller.
Yes. Now he's got a,
Where Holsinger used to live. Where Holsinger used to live.
yes, where Jack Holsinger's house used to live,
I haven't been up by there.
or he's dead. But he's also got, I'll call it a canvas garage like beside his other garage. And I've seen trucks in and out, pickup trucks. There.
On his property then?
What kind
Not
of
to park 'em
trailer,
on
did you
the
say
property.
trailers?
Pardon me?
Did you say he had trailers on there?
Yes. He has 3 trailers. He has some,
Box
he has some
trailer,
stuff laying on the ground over there too also.
All right, we'll have to look at it, because without seeing it, I'm not real sure what you're talking about.
Yes.
Like, but we can definitely look into it and see what's going on up there. I mean, it's, yeah. Certainly something we can look at. You said that was Holsinger's old house.
Right.
All right.
Also, when the planning commission volunteered our time to check for high grass and other things that people are lack of keeping their property clean. There's people, especially on Miller Street, the next property, there's hedges, or, I don't know what kind of what the vegetation is, but it's 8-10 feet high and it's hanging halfway over Miller Street. That's not the only place. There's other places that are the same way. Nobody's checking this. Why not?
They're being checked.
What good are our orders? We've been passing ordinances and nobody's doing anything with it.
I urge you to go ask the courts that, because when we cite people for high grass, when we cite them for, incomplete building and things of that nature, I mean, I'm not gonna mention names, but we have one gentleman that we cited, I've lost count how many times, and every time he would have his hearing at the magistrate, he would go in with his attorney and, can I have a little bit of time to do this? And the magistrate would grant them the time, and they would do a small portion of the work and then go back again. It's an endless battle, and unfortunately, they just don't have enough teeth to really force it. But if you make a fine large enough that it would have teeth, the courts probably would not go all the way up to that maximum and make it have teeth. I mean, property rights in Pennsylvania, we're not the only borough fighting that issue. It happens all throughout the Commonwealth, and people have gone to great lengths to fight it in court. Watch the news from time to time. They have crazy, we have bad issue with it on certain properties, but they pale in comparison to some of the ones in this area, and they've gone to high levels of court to be proven that the property owner kind of has the right to do what they want with their property, even though it can cause public health hazards. They kind of still side in that direction, unfortunately. I wish we could do more. There's one right in my backyard. My dog had a tick, and now a family member just had a tick, and neither of them go in the woods, but we have a grass issue behind my house, so, on an adjacent property. So, I'm on the same page as you. I truly agree with that.
I don't know, if you want to give me the address, I would
I don't know the house number. I can't see the house
Well,
number.
if you call down the office, we're happy to hang tags on them, which is what we do first, and to have them cut or trim shrubs.
I'll check it when I go up
But
to check the trailers.
I don't know
You
what
said the
address.
next property over? When I go to check the trailers by Holsinger's old house, you said it's the next property over?
The shrubs.
Yeah, it would be the next property.
Okay, I'll take a look.
You can't miss this vegetation hanging over the highway, over this road.
My dad just had one down on First Alley that we had to deal with, so. Finally got them ones cut.
One other question, Ray, if you're gonna start paving, when are they gonna cut the tree out before they pave?
Yeah, that I don't know.
There's
It's
a
not a
locust,
part of the paving
there's a
contract,
big
I
locust
can
tree
tell
sitting
you
in
that.
and you're not gonna pave around it because I'll be here raising Cain, as I always do.
You got a lot of years' experience at that, right? Well, yeah, it'll be before they do the road, obviously, and I don't have an exact date for it, if that's what you're looking
You cut it down, leave the wood there, I'll take it.
Oh, so you want the wood? We can get you a chainsaw if you want to do it. Yeah, it'll be sometime, like you said, they hope to have it started by the middle of August, so hopefully right around then, obviously before they pay, so.
That's the only thing I see, there's a problem there.
Move that tree out in the playground too, if we have a tree company come and do one on North Street.
One of that Grady.
For a couple of years.
No, the one here at the playground here, it's, there's something wrong with
We
it.
can cut that down, that's not.
Yeah, okay.
True.
I didn't think they had,
That's a little,
I
yeah,
didn't
on
know
the side of
guys
it.
had
Yeah.
some.
Was there
It's
something wrong?
damaged, yeah, it's.
Anybody, anything else?
Just so you know, John, when the way the paving's set up, we're really not gonna be lowering the road. We're gonna mill. It won't be any higher than it is, but we're not gonna be lowering it much of it all. That opposite side of the road, I'd have to lower the road a foot to drain that. So we can't do, we'll dig all the road base side.
You know how you get the water from the roadway into the catch basin?
The road's gonna be super elevated in that direction towards the drains. It's gonna be pitched one way.
Well, when the water starts running down my driveway again after a heavy
Why would
rain,
it
after
do-
it's
why would
paved,
it- why would
I'll
it
be
do-
here complaining.
Why would they do that? There's drains there to collect it.
Oh, I'm
All
just
I'm
saying,
telling
Ray,
you is, the road's gonna be pitched to the drains, to the drains. You can't lower the road enough. I mean, that other side is this much below the road.
All right,
You know,
Ray, we can address that when
I'm
we
just
go
saying,
off
I
to
just-
Miller Street. I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
It's too late now,
Yeah.
it's.
I mean, the
Plans are done.
engineering's done, the bids are done.
Yeah, right. Well, I just wanted to understand so
Right.
that it's not a surprise.
Well, he'll get you up there. I
that's
promise.
ridiculous.
He'll see you there. All right, anybody, anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn,
Second.
second from John, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?